Okay, so the 4 parameters that you have to check each week when your pool is equipped with a ZeroChlor pool system is pH, copper, hardness, and phosphates. So those are the only 4 things that you have to take care of. And this is one of the reasons that so many people like the ZeroChlor system so much. It's because it's such a simple system to maintain. But I wanted to do a quick demonstration on how you actually go about testing those 4 parameters so that you can actually see it live and kind of have a better understanding. And I want to make sure that when you test the water that you're testing it correctly. So it only takes just a couple of minutes to test your water, but you do have to test your water each week, because if these parameters get out of control, the system won't work. And so it is important that you check these each week. So come over here and we're gonna get started. The very first thing that I'm gonna test for is copper. And I've got the copper test kit here. We're gonna fill it up. By the way, all of these tests have instructions included in the test kits themselves. So you can follow the instructions. I just wanted to show you what it looks like to do the test live. So I'm gonna fill this up to the 10 milliliter line. All right, get that there. I'm gonna set this here. You have 2 parts, A and B. 5 drops of A, 5 drops of B, shake it, and then let it sit for 3 minutes. And while it sits for 3 minutes, we're gonna test the other water parameters. So we've got A, we're gonna do 5 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then B, we've got 5 drops of B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I'm gonna take this, shake it, put it back in there. Now we're gonna test for the pH. We're gonna fill the large tube up to the 44 milliliter line, right there. And then we're gonna take R4 with the red cap, and we're gonna do 5 drops. Once again, this is in the instructions on the kit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put the cap back on. Put the cap on the tube. Shake it. And then what we're going to do is, if you look here, we're just going to compare the color of the water to the color over here, and that's going to tell us what our pH is. So this, to me, looks like it's right around 7.2, maybe a little bit lower, so somewhere probably about 7.1. And so that's good. That's within the proper range. All right. Now, this is a new pool liner. We just filled it up with water, so it's not going to have copper registering right now. Yeah, it's not going to have copper registering right now, but I still wanted to show you the process. Now we're going to move to the phosphate test kit. And basically, this one, you fill this tube up to the top line right here. Just like that. Right there. And then you take the phosphate test powder, open the packet. Hard to open with wet hands sometimes. Pour the powder into the tube. And if phosphates are present in the water, within 60 seconds, this water in the tube will go blue. It'll actually turn a different shade of blue. The darker the blue, the more phosphates there are in the water. It comes with comparator colors here as well. So if it's that dark, you've got very high phosphates of 1,000. If it's barely blue, it's probably around 200. In this case, and when you test these, you look down into the tube, okay? And this is, the water's clear. There are 0 phosphates, which is great. That's exactly what we want. If there are phosphates in the water, if it shows blue at all, you're gonna add phos-free to the water to get rid of the phosphates. We want the phosphates to be as close to 0 as possible. Okay, so that's that for the phosphates. Now, with the copper, it's been about 3 minutes. Same thing, we look down into the tube. And like I said, this is new water, so there's no copper registering right now. It's still clear, but you would compare it to the level of blue that you have, and that'll tell you. So basically you're shooting for somewhere between 0.3 and 0.5. So you're looking for a kind of a little bit darker than a sky blue when it comes to that. All right, so that's how you do the copper. And now we just have the hardness left. I'm gonna fill this large tube halfway up to the 25 milliliter line. A little bit more. 25 milliliter line. We're gonna put 20 drops of R10 in there. And this tube that I've got is exactly 20 drops, so I just squirt that all in there. And then we do, let me check, 5 drops of R11. One, two, three, 4, 5. When the drops go in, they're blue. If there's hardness, also known as calcium, if there's calcium in the water, this will actually turn red. And I put calcium in there yesterday, so it turned kind of a red color. Now, what we do to tell what the exact amount of calcium is in the water, we're gonna put R12 in there 1 drop at a time. Each drop counts as 10, and as soon as this turns from red to blue, that is how much you have in the water. So I know that we've got at least 200, so I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 drops. And it's still red, so we know that it's at least 200. Calcium is at least 200. So now we're gonna start adding it one at a time. 210, 220, 230, 240, 250. Shake it up a little bit. 260, 70. Shake it up a little bit. 280, 290, shake it up a little bit. 300, 310, 330. It's starting to turn. 340. And did you see that? It started to turn blue. One more. We're right at about 350, which is perfect. That's that's right in the middle of the of where we want it. So the calcium is perfect on this pool and does not need to be adjusted anymore. And that is it. That's what you have to do each week. And after you've done this a couple of times, it's just second nature. It takes you about 5 minutes to finish the whole process. Thanks a lot.